Hello, Leo. Thank you for turning into the love portion. Um, for the main reading, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot by Paul Foster Case and author Arthur Edward Waite. Yeah. And for the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. If I can get the glare off of them so you can read that. Okay. For the oracle cards, I just pull them out as necessary. I do relationship first, and then I do single second. Okay. No? Okay. So, I feel like at the moment you're giving things the benefit of a doubt. And what's holding you back is I feel like you might be a little bit... I feel like there's kind of a sulking feeling here. Like something maybe didn't work out exactly the way you thought it would. But you're trying to be optimistic about it. I'm not sure if you can see these with the glare here. Sorry, I'm sitting in the sunshine. Alright, see, this is what's holding it back. This is the... you can see it there. That's kind of like the feeling a little sad, needing a little nurturing. On the other side, what's holding things back is they're feeling... The word betrayed comes in. They feel like they've been betrayed. And I feel like you're feeling bad about that. Let's go a little farther, because I'm trying to figure out like what exactly we're talking about here, because it feels like something went a little wonky. They feel betrayed, you feel bad about it. I feel like you're trying to move on from it. You're trying to just like, let's just let it be the past, let's just move on. Can you see the card? Wow, the glare went behind, the sun went behind the cloud, but it's still a lot of glare here. Hopefully you can see that. I feel like they're sticking with it. They're staying with you. I feel like they're kind of like, well, this happens every now and then. They're trying to, and I feel like you're trying to move on from it, whatever it was. Doesn't seem too bad. There's a bit of aggravation here, though, I'm noticing. Like, between the two of you, I feel like even though you're trying to let it go, they're just kind of moving on, same way things are, you know, same as, same old. I do feel like there's some aggravation between the two of you. I feel like they consider, like, what do they want to do? I feel like the aggravation might be going on a little while, and they might be considering other options because of it. No, maybe not. Okay, what are we talking about with this? They're spending time away? Alright, so I feel like they're more looking... They're doing things that take them away from you a little while. I feel like they're doing, like, that break thing. They're taking a break from you? Okay, so they're kind of taking a break from you. Excuse me. And I feel like... I feel like they're just doing it. They're just making this decision and taking some time away from you. However this may be, either they're doing things without you, or they're just like, well, I have to get this done. I don't have time to talk right now. Or they're getting involved in things where they don't have time to hang out with you or to actually talk with you, to deal with you. I don't know. It feels like the aggravation is still alive between the two of you, even though the situation passed. They just want some time away. I feel like you're still there. I don't feel like you're going anywhere. You're very stable in this relationship. I feel like as they're taking this time away, they're trying to like look at like how the two of you really add up. Is this normal? Is this going to keep happening? Is there something I can do so I don't have to deal with this all the time? It seems like to them they feel like it's a repetitious pattern, and they're trying to like either get comfortable with it or try to find a way to circumvent it so it doesn't have to be like this all the time. I feel like you're staying the same route though, and that you're just like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like that's kind of the feeling I get on this side. When I see the Emperor for you, I'm getting a lot of stability, a lot of garnered interest. I just don't. I feel like this is more about stability, and you're not moving. You're in this relationship, and you're planning to stay in this relationship. Okay. Now, even though there's taking some time away from you, I feel like they're very much still in love with you. And I feel like the passion between you might be one of the reasons there's still aggravation, which is ironic. If the aggravation wasn't there, it would be because the spark isn't there. But I feel like the spark and the love is definitely still there, which is kind of fueling the aggravation, ironically. And I feel like what helps them is they take that moment to think things through, and they look at the situation as a whole, and I feel like I feel like they're looking at the situation like who you are, how you guys add up, why they feel what happened. I don't feel like you meant for what happened to happen. I feel like it might be just like something misspoken. Even though it's a general read, I feel like for the most part, for most of you, it's something that was misspoken. And I feel like when they have time away, they really start to realize. Like, I feel like they look at the situation like how you relate to them, but they also start looking like how you relate to other people, and they start to think. I feel like they start to realize that they took something a certain way that maybe wasn't meant to go that way, or the way you talk sometimes things just come off the cuff, and it's that honesty that actually makes you you. It's what makes you you, and it's a great thing because I feel like they usually know what you're thinking. So, like, they're starting to see more of the benefit than the detriment of what happened. I feel like they're feeling better about it. Like, they're shifting perspective in the future. The time that they're spending away from you, they get to overhaul and think about what happened, and they get more comfortable with it. But it's the passion between you, I feel, that ignites things. They might be a little hypersensitive to things because of how they feel for you and how much you mean to them. And that might be what the problem actually is, and I feel like they're evaluating it and looking at it in that light, because they're like seeing how you relate to them, but how also you relate to other people, and I feel like it's making them feel better because they're like, that wasn't really a dig towards me; it's just how you communicate. Okay, so I feel like that's going better. Although I say that, for them, I feel like they're doing better the farther it goes. I feel, though, that you do take this to heart, because I really do feel like, for the most part, it was something that was misspoken. And this is what was holding you back, which is feeling kind of bad about it. Kind of feeling like, I'm being who I am. I don't know who you expect me to be. That kind of feeling. But that kind of pushes into what helps, because I feel like that makes you, like, try to figure out, like, is there something I can do to make this easier on myself and my partner? Like, is there something I can do? I feel like you're trying to think things through in the sense of, like, what happened. I feel like you're also thinking, like, this time apart, you're thinking about the situation and what happened and why you said what you said. And I really do feel like it's a miscommunication. Like, something just came across wrong. And you're trying to think about what you can do to make that better in the future. I feel like you're trying to... all right, next time this happens, I'm going to, be careful what I say about X, Y, Z, or I'm going to stay away from this subject. But then again, I feel like you're also looking at it like, I've done this before where I've planned to stay away from X, Y, Z or this subject, and what's the first thing that comes out of my mouth? X, Y, Z and that subject, all in one sentence. I feel like you're getting a lot more patience for your partner here too, because that feeling is mutual. This attraction is mutual. So I feel like you're really trying to find ways to avoid this from happening again. But you're trying to be honest with yourself at the same time. I feel like what helps is that you're actually thinking it over and you're trying. Because I think as this goes forward, just the fact that they notice you're trying is the point. Okay, because just I feel like they know when you're making an effort, even if something still comes off wrong. When they realize you're making an effort, it's like it drives home the point that you are who you are. But the fact that you make that extra effort for them, even though it comes off wrong anyway in the future, I feel like that's like the world to them. It's not so much how it was said or what was said. It's kind of like, I feel like last time it happened, it may have came off wrong, and then you kind of like maybe had an error of like that's how it is, and that's maybe where they really got their feelings hurt. And in the future, I feel like you're replaying it in a different way. Like, you might say something and it might come off wrong, but you're like, I feel like you're apologetic as best you can afterwards, sort of. Or or they can actually see you slowing down and trying to say things differently. And it just, that means the world to them. Like, that, even though things still come off the way they come off, the fact that they see you're making an effort makes a world of difference. And I feel like this time you're taking to think about things, because it weighs on you. This person means a lot to you. It weighs on you. And when it comes around again, which I feel like it's just a natural thing with this relationship, you show some type of like, either you're showing like a slower response, or they can see your eyes like kind of like looking off in the distance, like you're trying to think about how to respond correctly. Even though it still may come off wrong, the fact that they see you making this effort, that's what they're looking for. That's all they want. It's just a little effort. That's all they want. Even if it comes off wrong still, the fact that they see you're trying to, do that, I feel like it's more obvious. It's not that you haven't done this in the past, but in the future something is a little bit more obvious about it. Okay. Alright, so I feel like that's the message. I feel like something is a little wonky here, but I feel like it's well. I feel like the love is there. It's just like being aware of how hard your words hit because of how much they care for you. That's the big piece here. And the fact that you're making it more obvious in the future, I feel like you make it more obvious in the future that you're really trying to think about how you're responding. Like, if you have to be a little over dramatic so they get that, so be it, because you want to make sure that they realize, like, I am considering you. Like, I am trying to say the right thing. It's just I'm being who I am at the same time. Would you prefer I just lie to you? I almost feel like that's coming out. Okay. Alright, so I think we're good here. Alright, so I'm going to let this part go. So let's get into singles for Leo. For, I feel like that's going to go in a good direction. I felt a little bumpy, but I feel like, for the most part, I feel like that's going to go in a good direction. So, hopefully you feel the same. Single Leo. Alright, messages, empowering messages for single Leo. Okay. Standing strong, that's good. I'm definitely going to pull out at least, I'm hoping I'm going to get a card for that spot. I feel like this is a good reading, but there's an interesting spot here that I'm kind of interested to know why it seems a little bit. Alright, so let's start. Where you're starting, well, for relationship Leo, we had this for where they were standing sort of too. So I guess this is the mode for the moment for Leo. So I feel what you're doing here is you're very secure in what you want, and you're looking in a certain direction and you're going for it. No. What are you doing? You've defined what you wanted, and you decided to find it. No. But you've defined what you wanted. Yes. Okay. So you know what you want. And now you're just seeing what it takes to get it? No. I don't know. You know what you want. I know that much. So we're just going to sit there. I'll put that down for now. It'll come back around if there's more to come from it. Your thoughts, maybe you think it's a little bit more difficult to get than you think. Might be. For for some reason where you're standing here seems a little clouded. So let's see. I feel like in the past you've had roadblocks. And then recently the Sun card has come out. I feel like you've had a good time recently. Somebody came into your life and maybe left as well. Or it just didn't last. Alright, so you've kind of felt blocked in the past, the distant past. The more recent past, blast from the past? Oh, maybe so somebody came back that you felt you were a good match for, and they just kind of came and kind of went. Okay. And you're still kind of broken up about that? Okay, so that's where your thoughts are. But you know you'd like to be with them. Okay. Okay, so we are kind of talking about a situation that's currently going on. You're not really with them, but you'd like to be. When this happened, you felt it was going to go in your direction, and you're kind of still feeling like maybe if you just hold out, it still could. Because it was going well for a little while, but they seem to have kind of moved on a little bit, but you're still kind of holding on, hoping it comes back around your way. Okay. Now the High Priestess. I feel like this is dedication. And then the Seven of Swords, I feel like it's rough. Because I don't feel like you're getting that. I don't feel like you're getting what you want. You might be getting some, but not exactly what you want. Not enough. Not enough. Okay. Excuse me. This is causing... You have to be very patient with this one. The Temperance card, I feel like that's what it's saying. Now, what's going on around you is interesting, because the environment, I do have the Knight of Cups. So this person is showing you some love, but I feel like they're a little apprehensive. They're not sure about the situation. So they're going slow because they want to get to know you. But I feel like this is a lot slower than you want. A lot slower. And the more they get to know you, I feel like the more they push, the more they pull back. So I feel like this calls for a bit of a relaxed energy that might be a bit of a challenge for you, because I feel like the passion is there for you. And that's why it's hard for you to hold back, because you're feeling it. You are really feeling it for this person. Alright. Now, the more you push, the more they pull back, but I feel like they may, the more comfortable they get, the more of an effort they make. It's about comfort for them, and they need that stability. They want to take time to get to know you. And if you allow them that moment to breathe, if you go at their pace, which may be a bit difficult, I feel like the more you relent to them, the more they give. So the more you pull back, the more they give. Which may seem a bit contradictory, but I feel like that's kind of how it works in this situation. Like, you have to reserve yourself a lot, and the more you reserve yourself, the more they give to you. That might be a challenge. I feel like that might be. Because I almost feel like you'll kind of be like, alright, take it calm, I'll be fine. And I feel like you're being very patient. You get to the point where you're very patient, and then that's the Temperance card. If I can get the glare off it. I don't know if you can see it. No matter where I put it, there's a glare. Sorry. So I feel like you're patient. They give a lot to you. So then you get excited. You got the Chariot card right here, which is glaring all over the place too. But you got the Chariot. They're like, hey, because you're excited. You really want this. I completely understand why you're like it's like green light time. Like, they give to you. Like, you're very patient, and they give to you. And they're very forward. And you're like, great, because I feel that way too. And you get really excited. So you go out there in the chariot, and they're like, let's do this, let's do that. Like, you're very animated about it. Bam. The Chariot, the Hanged Man. Like, I feel like then they pull back again. They pull back again. I feel like they're worried. They might have some emotional baggage or some type of they're worried. They're worried that, I don't know, there's one of these things where, like, when you hold back, they feel like they need to give more, and they do. But when you're giving, it makes them nervous, and then they pull back. like it's kind of like it's a weird push-pull thing here. Like you push in, they pull back. You pull back, they push in. And it's just kind of like, and you're like, I would rather just move forward. Can't we just move forward? And they're just like, no, nope, can't do that. I feel like the point of this is if you keep going with this, because I feel like at this point this isn't an established, even at this point it's not an established relationship. It's not like you're together, but you haven't like established a couple situation, but I do feel like it's going in a good direction. It's just going to take a while. I do feel like this is the type of person, though, kind of like, I think Aries had the same thing. This is the same type of person where once they're in, and they have a hard time letting go, which is one of the reasons why they keep pulling back. It's going to take a while. I feel like there's a push-pull action. I guess if you realize that going in, because I feel like you're going to hold back and be very patient, and then they come towards you, and you're like, great, we can move forward now. And so you give too, and then they're like, nope, no, wait. And it's just like, every time you make an advancement, they recoil. But if you kind of get patient and pull back, then they advance towards you, and you're just like, this is very bipolar of you. Can you just pick a direction? Like, if you're not interested, just say so. I'll move on. But if you are interested, why do you keep pulling back? Because it's really aggravating. I feel like that's how you're feeling about this. I feel. I love how I do that. In a not at all type of way. So I guess if this is hitting for you, you just got to realize that it's going to be kind of like every time you advance, they're going to recoil. And when you take it patient and you calm down a bit, they're going to kind of advance towards you. And you kind of, like, if you want this to move forward more smoothly, you have to still be cool as a cucumber, which I feel like that's hard because you're passionate about this. You want this to happen. So it's more difficult than it seems is what I'm thinking. But I feel like this is going to go on for a while if you want this person in your life. So I guess you have to decide whether this is worth going through for a few months or longer to establish this relationship. Once you do have them, once they're like committed to you, I feel like it gets better. You might want to watch how they deal with other people to see if this is like their thing, to where they're constantly pulling back, because it might be a pattern with them in their whole life. So you might want to look closer to like other relationships they have and how they relate to other people. Because if they're not really repeating this with other people, it might be just they're nervous about letting their heart open to someone else, leaving their heart open to someone else. But once they're in, they're fine. Some of them, though, I'm getting a warning, like, pay attention to their relationships with other people. Because if they do this with other people, this is just something you're going to constantly have to deal with. And it might be better for you to decide now whether that's acceptable or not before you really get into this relationship. Okay. All right, so I think that's good for Leo. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.